Hello, everybody. It's Monday, 13th day of April, 2026. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Here we go. Another week is upon us. Spring break is over. Sorry, kids. Back to school. But they're not complaining. I mean, they had a pretty good week weather-wise. If you're going to get the week off from going to school, you might as well have a week like we had last week. It was beautiful. Things are going to change. We got one pretty nice day today, a little breezy. But there's a big low pressure system just off the Gulf of Alaska. Alaska has a tendency to be cold, for those of you who are familiar with that area. And it's going to seep its way down to us. It's knocking on our door. It will be knocking on our door as the day progresses. By about midday on Tuesday, it'll be here. Considerably cooler temperatures. We're going to be right at normal for our afternoon high today. Then we're not going to see any afternoon high temperatures near normal for pretty much the balance of the week. Big cool down, snow in the mountains, rain down here. It's pretty much the exact opposite of what we had last week. Forecast details will begin our festivities, followed by the news, which there is lots, followed by sports, which there is lots. The Mariners seem to have righted the ship. They've guaranteed themselves a series victory against their nemesis, the Astros, regardless of what happens today. They have an afternoon game, by the way, matinee at 1:10. We'll have sports. And in case you missed it last week, and a lot of you did, I wanted to make it up to you. I wanted to play the interview I did with Jenny Rodas, who was named a couple weeks ago as the 2025 Robert W. Woods Wenatchee World Employee of the Year. Kudos to Jenny. We got to meet Jenny and talk to her a little bit. She sits not too far from me in the bullpen. It was a pretty fun interview. I enjoyed it, and you will too. We'll get to that in the back half of the program. Tour time at 2 minutes after the hour. The PTZ cameras are fired up. We put the quarters in. They're coin operated. So after 15 minutes, they go off. So we have a group of people all over the north central Washington area with rolls of quarters up by the PTZ cameras. It's just common sense. There is the Wenatchee Valley from, of course, our cross camera. We hit 67 yesterday and 65 on Saturday. Not going to get that this week. We also had some pretty good rain at times, and then it just kind of went away. We had a lot of weather over the weekend, but it was all in all pretty darn nice. Hey, Canyon checks in. Sunrise this morning, 6:16. Sunset tonight, 7:48. We're now the middle of April. 13 hours, 32 minutes of daylight. Today will be 3 minutes and 18 seconds longer than Sunday was. Let's see what Arundel Rock looks like. Well, not Arundel Rock. It doesn't really exist. I guess maybe that rock in the front of your picture might be Arundel Rock. I don't know. I think we just made it up. Lake Antiat, Turtle Rock, Rocky Reach Dam, Mission Ridge off in the distance. Even though the pass is going to get a pretty good dose of snow, Mission Ridge isn't going to get much, only about an inch or so with this incoming system. Sorry, guys, that's just the way it is. And up to Nanapauk Ridge, overlooking beautiful Lake Wenatchee. The snow continues to recede like my hairline up on Dirty Face Mountain and all the big mountains that feed into the Little Wenatchee and the White River, as spring is pretty much well entrenched everywhere, except in the mountain passes. Even though we're way past the studded snow tire thing, we're going to do it again. A winter storm watch for the Cascades goes from tomorrow morning until Wednesday evening. Here's your snow total for the mountain passes. Even Washington Pass up on the North Cascades Highway, they're in the process of clearing that out. They may have to wait a little bit because the Washington Pass could get about 8 inches of snow. Stevens is going to get the brunt of it, but a little bit of snow on Snoqualmie Pass as well. Take a look at your local passes. Blewett's going to be protected by the lee of the Cascades, but man, it's a little late. They could have used this, earlier in the year because the snowpack is about half where it should be, but they'll take what they can get. So watch out for some winter driving conditions in the mountain passes. From Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. Sunshine today, quite breezy. It'll be sustained winds out of the west about 11 to 18 miles an hour, gusts at 25, a distinct possibility. It's going to be windy overnight tonight. This is where this low pressure from the Gulf of Alaska begins to really come in. We're going to cloud up, going to cool down, 42 for the overnight low. Now our normal high this time of the year is 61. As you can see, we're not going to get there. Tomorrow afternoon rain, about a 30% chance of that. Tomorrow morning, the snow level is going to be at 2,800 feet. Tuesday night into Wednesday, the snow level is going to be at 1,800 feet. And we are going to see some rain Tuesday night, and maybe in the upper elevations around the Wenatchee Valley, some snow. Say way at the top of Badger Mountain and Birch Mountain, you could get about half an inch of snow up there early Wednesday morning before it eventually melts away. But we're only going to get to 52 on Wednesday. Thursday, we start moving things around a little bit. 56 for the high on Thursday, up to 60 on Friday, and back to normal with lots of sunshine Saturday and Sunday with highs in the lower 60s. All right, the news is priority number one around here, and we're going to go to priority number one after a 2-minute break. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley Monday edition on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Vape companies have a history of targeting teens. Now, they've been caught red-handed marketing to minors in Washington state and forced to pay millions in a major lawsuit. When it comes to your health, choose what matters. Choose you. Nicotine in vapes can increase feelings of anxiety and depression. Though quitting isn't always easy, it's a great way to care for your mental health. When you're ready to take control of your well-being, choose the Tomorrow Health app. It's free for Washington teens and proven to work.
Click It RV Moses Lake Superstore has gone mad with huge discounts on a huge selection of top brand RVs, which means the lowest prices, factory incentives, and rebates.
You guys gotta beat the spring rush and get in here now.
Shop online and find the floor plan you like, then build it, price it, and click it. Or come to the Moses Lake Superstore. From travel trailers to fifth wheels, toy haulers to motorhomes. The huge RV discount prices are here. Get a better RV and the lowest price guarantee only at Click It RV Moses Lake or clickitrv.com.
Be a winner like me and get the Click It RV.
At Colonial Vista Senior Living, we believe life is meant to be lived fully. Our wellness programs inspire residents to stay strong, flexible, and confident every day. Here, curiosity is encouraged, friendships are nurtured, and every activity is an opportunity to connect, create, and enjoy life together. We invite you to experience the lifestyle at Colonial Vista Senior Living for yourself and discover why so many call our community home.
High clouds, 51 degrees. Sun will have the upper hand. It's going to be breezy. We'll top off right at 61, which is right at normal. And then things change big time overnight. Tonight, we're going to cloud up. We're going to see some rain, some snow in the mountains, considerably cooler temperatures on Tuesday and Wednesday before we turn things right back around for pretty nice weather come Thursday and into the weekend. It's 8 minutes after the hour. Opponents of Washington's new millionaires tax have launched a court challenge to overturn that tax, and a Chelan County couple are among the plaintiffs. Benjamin and Lauren Petter, they've operated Blue Water Homes, that's a Chelan construction firm, since 2022. Ben is also president of Avara Construction in Redmond. The couple say they'll be subject to the new tax of 9.9% on household income over $1 million a year, which Governor Bob Ferguson signed into law last month. The Petters are 2 of 6 individual plaintiffs, and 4 organizations have filed suit on Thursday in Klickitat County. They're arguing that the tax law is unconstitutional and goes against state Supreme Court precedent. Former Attorney General Rob McKenna is representing their claims in court. It's not the first time Wenatchee Valley residents have sued over new tax measures. Douglas County developer Chris Quinn and orchardist April Clayton were among the plaintiffs who unsuccessfully asked the courts to eliminate Washington's capital gains tax in 2021. Chatbots and artificial intelligence are making their way into every corner of our lives, and as of last week, that includes calls to police and emergency services in our area. Our own Oscar Rodriguez tells us how the Wenatchee Valley's dispatch agency, Rivercom, has begun using AI to answer the community's calls for help.
Any residents calling Rivercom 911 about their non-emergency issues will no longer be talking to a person, but instead with an artificial intelligence called Ava as of today. Residents calling Rivercom before today would talk to one of several human operators at their real location here on the 3rd floor of the Wenatchee Police Department building. But now, through a contract with Seattle-based company Aurelian, the AI will talk to callers in real time. We spoke to Doug Jones, Rivercom 911 Executive Director, about this new technology and the potential issues that residents may have.
We've done a lot of testing up until this time. We put on our website and our Facebook page, hey, when we're testing, so people can kind of have a sense of that. So over the last month or so, we've done segments of 2 or 3 hours of testing at a time. So no surprises today on how it's going. We do have callers that are unfamiliar with it, and so that's, I think, one of the biggest challenges is, which I'm glad you're here today, is to educate people on how to really interact with the AI to get the best benefit from it, and to understand that it's not that your call isn't important, it's that your call is important, and we're doing the best efficiently to get your call handled while also not tying up the emergency services side of things. We get about 100,000 non-emergency calls per year versus 50,000 911 calls per year. And of course, we dispatch for all fire, police, and EMS. So our dispatchers, when you look at a dispatcher, that's how their time is drawn in that direction. With our primary mission being 911 calls and dispatching, we really wanted to look for a way to kind of divert some of those non-emergency calls that could be handled another way and save the personnel resources for what our primary mission is, which is 911 calls and dispatching to our law, fire, and EMS. So that's what we were looking at. We've had some staffing issues. So one of the things we were looking at as far as reducing the workload on our staff was trying to handle some of those non-emergency calls a different way. And this was a natural progression in thinking about a way we could do that.
Any concern that the AI is going to have a hard time picking up on any of the sort of nuance, the sort of natural nuance that you might expect in a human conversation?
As we're going through it, there are things that AI doesn't recognize, especially when you're talking about street names and things like that. And AI may misinterpret, or not misinterpret, but misname a street or something like that. So what we have the ability to do is to, in real time, go in and make changes so that next time AI hears that, AI knows that is actually Wenatchee, for example. That word is Wenatchee. So it is a process that the more we use it, the better it gets at recognizing some of those nuances. And I would just say to the public, the best way to use this is to talk to the AI agent, Ava, as naturally as possible. What you have people calling in and they're being very cryptic as far as how they're talking. So Ava will say, hey, how can I help you today? And someone will say, a report, things like that, like they're talking to a phone tree or something like that, where what we want people to do is say, hey, I need to file a report about my neighbor's dog who is barking all the time, things like that. That way, the more natural you are, the more she can gather the information and make it more natural for the caller, make it a better experience for the caller, and then get the information that's needed more efficiently and get that to a dispatcher.
You can read more about this story in this weekend's edition of the Wenatchee World. I'm Oscar Rodriguez reporting with NCW Life.
A Bridgeport woman convicted of stabbing a convenience store clerk in the face received a 9-month sentence on Thursday in Douglas County Court. 23-year-old Monica Mercado has no prior criminal record. 9 months is the high end of the standard sentence in our state for second-degree assault. A Waterville jury convicted Mercado of assaulting the female clerk last fall at San Marcos Market. The attack appeared to stem from a verbal dispute between the two women a few days earlier. Mercado was also convicted of malicious mischief for slashing the victim's car tires. She'll serve out her sentence in the Chelan County Jail. Smoke on the horizon doesn't always mean a wildfire that doesn't belong there. Of course, it's this time of the year. Prescribed burns. The idea is to make forests more resilient against fire. In the Wenatchee Valley, we may see some smoke this week from a planned burn in the Upper Wheeler Reservoir, as Chelan County Fish and Wildlife carry out controlled ignitions on 35 acres of land. That's scheduled for tomorrow through Thursday as weather permits. If it's windy, they don't do it. The State Department of Natural Resources plans a similar burn that could start as soon as this morning in Okanogan County, involving 500 acres west of Conconelli. You can keep informed on these and other prescribed burns by looking at that old QR code. That'll bring you an online mapping project, and it's brought to you by the United States Department of Agriculture. The Icicle Valley Trout Unlimited chapter is trying to save a popular family fishing site in Leavenworth's Enchantment Park. Last year, progress was being made on bringing Blackbird Island Pond's pump infrastructure up to date. But then, of course, the December floods caused significant damage to the pump system infrastructure and to the pond itself, which is now filled with debris. The pond is open and stocked each year for youth fishing programs. Trout Unlimited says it believes it can be ready for fishing again this year with some community support. It has a plan to clear a logjam at the pump house and debris from the pond, and the work will also be needed to restore the bank, the inlet, and the pumps. There's a GoFundMe campaign that's been created. They want to raise at least $20,000 to fund materials, equipment, and critical repairs. And once again, the old QR code on your screen will put you in the right direction. For reasons not entirely clear to me anyway, we are helping your wallet and trying to save you a few bucks, especially during lunch. Reporter Long Tran is checking out some of the best local places you can get lunch on a budget. And last week, he hit up a Wenatchee cafe that serves its meals with a touch of the islands.
On this week's Lunch on a Budget, we're back in Wenatchee to check out Pinky's Fresh and Healthy Cafe. Let's check it out.
We opened in October, and the inspiration really came from our time both on the island of Maui, and I fell in love with acai bowls out there. And so when we had the opportunity to bring this to the valley, it kind of was like a perfect time. Pinky's Fresh and Healthy Cafe kind of became inspired by offering fruit-forward, acai, healthy options. So like no additives, no like added sugar, nothing that's really got any artificial things into it. And then my mom makes house-made small batch granola.
They make something that's clean, inviting, delicious. Like, I want to have more of that. My entire house smells like a big granola factory when I make this stuff, and it's like everybody walks in saying, "Oh my God, it smells so good in here." So the granola is my pride and joy,
and it's our staple.
And it's the staple of what we do here.
Hi, welcome to Pinky's.
Yeah, hi. I really wanted to try the Maui Dream Bowl.
Oh, it's our signature. Absolutely. Yeah. I'd love to get that for you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Is that everything?
Yes.
Perfect. That will be $15.77.
Cool. Thank you. So for $15.77, you get a whole acai bowl that's super filling, fruit, granola. It's a great breakfast, great lunch option. If you have a recommendation for a lunch on a budget spot, email us at news@ncwlife.com. Reporting from Wenatchee, this is Long Tran, NCW Life.
And you are in the loop on this Monday morning, and the whole crew will be back at it again to keep you in the loop. I think it's kind of important that you know what the heck is going on around here in the Wenatchee Valley and all of North Central Washington. Check out the news tonight, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, the NCW Life Evening News, 5, 6, and 10. We're on Roku, we're on Amazon Fire Sticky Thingy Majigger, HDMI, you know how that works. And we have an email address. It's news@ncwlife.com. I have an email address, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. Sports in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether,
we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
High school sports is back. Join us all spring for live coverage of Wenatchee and Eastmont soccer, baseball, and softball. Brought to you by our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Coverage also sponsored by Global Car Care, The Hot and Dirt Golf and Grill, Apple Valley Honda, Sangster Motors, Valley Tractor, Save Mart, Caldwell Banker, Biosports Physical Therapy, and Dick's Heating and Air. Your home for high school sports, as always, is the NCW Life Channel.
"20 minutes after the hour, the ever-widening world of sports. The Seattle Mariners have won 3 in a row. The Astros have lost 7 in a row after yesterday's nice 6-1 victory. Seattle over Houston at T-Mobile Park. Logan Gilbert threw 7 solid innings. Luke Raley had 3 hits, a couple of RBIs, and Randy Arozarena, he also wrapped out 3 hits.
Altuve is just standing there, and he is out. Logan Gilbert with the pickoff.
Wow. Altuve just kind of in no man's land out there. Doesn't even have a reaction. Here you see Cal does a little flip down and a quick toss by Gilbert. Oh, he had him dead to rights.
Randy into center field. It's a base hit. Donovan making his way around. Trammell's throw is up the line. And the Mariners, some 2-out run production in the first inning. Randy Arozarena makes it 1-0 Mariners.
A little soft line drive out there to center field. Good base running by Brendan Donovan. He knew exactly where the center fielder was playing, so he could take off once he recognized that ball was not going to carry all the way to the center field.
Here it comes. It is off the plate, a bases loaded walk.
Josh Naylor pops one into shallow right field. Down the line goes Altuve, and Jose makes a nice basket catch in foul territory. Jose had to cover a lot of ground, and that will strand the bases loaded. Good catch by Altuve.
Great play by Jose, understanding the situation. He went all out.
Nowhere for Cole Young to go. The 3-0. Another bases loaded walk. High fly, Smith. Nearing the line. Raley at third. Catch is made. Throw is coming. Raley slides across and he's safe on a sac fly.
That ball hit pretty well to left. Back goes Arozarena. He'll watch this one. That's the second career home run for Yiner against Logan Gilbert. Astros on the board with Yiner's first home run of the season. It's now a 4-1 game.
Got a 4-seam fastball up and in. Pulled the hands in nicely. Almost 106 off the bat and hit a laser into the Astros bullpen.
On an 0-2. Ground ball, Donovan tight to the line. He steps on third, whips a toss across. It's right there for the double play. Logan Gilbert gets out of the jam and maintains a 4-1 Mariners lead. Down the line, a fair ball. Naylor scores. Randy has run out from underneath his helmet. Get in the windmill home. The throw to the plate. Arozarena is safe. The 1-2. Ball game over. Mariners win 6-1 the final score, and they have won their first series of the season.
Good things happening all afternoon, starting with the star of the story. Logan Gilbert going 7 innings, getting his first win of the season.
Mariners go for the series sweep this afternoon. It's a matinee, 1:10. First pitch, it'll be George Kirby taking on Mike Burrows. The American League West scoreboard, everybody won except the Astros because they played the Mariners. Mariners over the Astros, Athletics got snuck by the Mets, the Rangers over the Dodgers, and the Angels beat the Reds. If you want to watch the Seattle Kraken at Climate Pledge Arena, you have one more chance today. That's it. They only have 3 games left. Of course, they were eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoffs over the weekend. They will host the Los Angeles Kings tonight at 6:30 on the Entertainment and Sports Programming Network. Their last 2 games are on Tuesday and then Thursday on the road, and then that's it for Kraken hockey for this year. The Wenatchee boys soccer team moved into a tie with Davis for first place in the Columbia Basin Big Nine after a rather convincing 5-2 win over Ike on Friday night to leave off the field of the Apple Bowl. Johnny Vega had a hat trick. Brady Paz had a brace. That means he scored 2 goals. The Panthers scored 2 goals in the second half, despite being down 1 man after a red card early in the period. Sebastian Moraga and Daryl Geddes have the call right here on the NCW Life Channel.
Wenatchee has 8 in the box.
Far post, half volley, Chani from outside the shot. Oh my goodness!
Brady Paz with
goodness.
the volley. What
Brady.
a beautiful shot.
Brady Paz breaks one open in the toughest moment of the toughest stretch of the half for Wenatchee. There's Williams.
There's a lot more to go.
The long push inside the box. Good opportunity for Chani. Who's going to tap it in?
And a beautiful setup by Chani.
And it is 2-0 Wenatchee. And it's a brace for Brady Paz.
That is some great eyesight by Chani to touch that back to Brady. He could have easily went for goal, but he just made the teammate pass right there by touching it to Brady. Easy tapping. They don't want to let Wenatchee get a third right here.
Touched by Beltran to the heart of the box. The shot across, and well, my goodness, all you had to do was say so. All you had to do was say so. Chani Vega making it 3-0 for the Panthers.
Need I say more?
Free kick for the Cadets. It's number 8, the shot. Oh my goodness!
Off the inside of the post. I thought that was going to be the game breaker for Eisenhower right there.
Arroyo and Randall and Arroyo, the shot, left footer! And Randall guessing right, and the ball's linking under his body. It is 3-1. On the move is Brady. He's got 2 goals to his name, making a path as he goes. The through ball that time inside the box. Good opportunity. The shot.
What a flick by Brady.
Golazo! Golazo! What a shot!
That was those 2 men again. Brady Paz taking on a defender, flicks it with the outside of his left foot, and Mr. Vega running onto it with a nice little half volley. A laser past the goalkeeper. Didn't have a chance to make it 4-1.
Chani Vega getting ready. 25:47 left in regulation. There's the whistle. Chani, right-footed. Chani, no doubter. It is 5-1 Wenatchee, and that's a hat trick for Mr. Vega.
Elsewhere on the pitch over the weekend, it was Eastmont knocking off West Valley. They improved to 3-2 in league play, 3-0 there. And on Saturday afternoon, Brewster knocked off Chelan. The final there was what you see on your screen. Prep baseball from Friday, West Valley swept Eastmont, and Wenatchee swept Eisenhower. A lot of sweeps. Kashmir had a one-off against Meridian, and they knocked them off 7-1, while Mansfield beat Cascade 9-8 in non-league action. Prep baseball on Saturday. They had a split. Cascade won the opener over Lake Roosevelt, but Lake Roosevelt came back and demolished the Kodiaks in Game 2. All the rest were sweeps. Prosser swept Ephrata, Quincy swept Toppenish, and Liberty Bell swept Clay Elum. Prep softball scoreboard on Friday, just 1 game, or 2 games, but that was it. West Valley won the opener against Eastmont. The Wildcats came back and won the nightcap 7-6. And on Saturday, a little bit more, but not much. It was, after all, spring break. Lake Roosevelt and Cascade split. East Valley swept Quincy, and Brewster took care of Mabton in a big way, 23-1 and 17-1. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. Your Obscura holiday today is National Scrabble Day. Scrabble is a fun game. It improves your vocabulary, improves your spelling. All over the world, Scrabble is trademarked by Mattel, with the exception of the United States and Canada, where Hasbro owns the copyright to Scrabble. Don't ask me why. It's pretty complicated. Scrabble is sold in 121 countries, 29 different languages. About 150 million sets have been sold worldwide. 1/3 of American households and half of British households have Scrabble in their closet. They love Scrabble in Great Britain for reasons I don't know. What really made Scrabble take off, first of all, James Brunot bought the game from the guy who invented it and changed the name to Scrabble, but sales weren't very good. And then in the 1940s, Jack Strauss, who was the president of Macy's, he was a bigwig, took his family on vacation, and at the home they were staying at, they had a version of Scrabble. And Jack Strauss and his family played Scrabble. They loved it. He got back to New York and immediately called up the company that made Scrabble and said, send me a couple of 100 sets for the toy department at Macy's. And from that point forward, Scrabble's future was made. And in case you're interested, there are 14 Scrabble words that have a Q but not a U that are accepted. So it's Q and then something else. There are 14 of them. I don't have time to tell you which ones, nor can I pronounce them. But if you're into Scrabble, today is your day. It's the bottom of the hour. Today is Thomas Jefferson's birthday, and 83 years ago today, due to the personal intervention of FDR, the Jefferson Memorial was dedicated in Washington, D.C. The island that it sits on didn't exist. They had to create it. They dredged the Potomac River to make it an island, and then they put the Jefferson Memorial on it. It was originally supposed to be a memorial to Theodore Roosevelt, but Jefferson said, I think TJ gets to go next. Thomas Jefferson, so it was FDR who personally intervened and got the darn thing built. When the statue was dedicated on this date 83 years ago, we were in the middle of World War II, and so the statue was made of plaster because they had to, keep bronze for wartime restrictions. After the war was over, they did a new statue of Jefferson, the one that's in there now, 4 years after the war. That one is made of bronze. The Jefferson Memorial is 83 years old today. Allen Dulles was the director of the CIA. He was really bad at his job. And he said, hey, if we're going to torture people, let's get good at it. So on this date in 1953, Project MK Ultra was begun. Nobody knew about, well, they knew about it, but it didn't become widely known for a number of years. Yeah, let's go ahead and experiment on our own people. They unknowingly gave victims LSD and other chemicals, hypnosis, electroshock treatments, sleep deprivation, isolation, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, all kinds of torture. I mean, you know, if you're going to torture people, what works? So they started working on that 73 years ago today. National League Baseball returned to New York City on this date in 1962, 64 years ago today, as the Mets played their inaugural home game at the Polo Grounds. Not surprisingly, they lost to the Pirates. The final was 4-3. Now, you would think this would be a big thing. National League Baseball back in New York City after a 7-year absence. Attendance for the very first Mets game at home, 12,447. That was it. Mets lost, no surprise there. 56 years ago today, an oxygen tank explodes on Apollo 13. They were supposed to go to the moon. They didn't make it. I think we've all seen the movie. Apollo 13 is pretty good, too. Of course, the crew was put in great danger. They had to duct tape and baling wire the whole thing. They got them back. Codenamed Odyssey. We all know about this thing. And America held its breath for about 2.5 days before they finally made it back. The $2 bill came back on this date in 1976, 50 years ago today. The $2 bill was reintroduced to the American public with Thomas Jefferson. It was Thomas Jefferson's birthday, and of course it was the bicentennial. And so the $2 bill, which is still out there, was reintroduced. There was one company, a steel company in Utah, who said, we want to prove to the people in our small community that the steel mill is important to the community. So when they handed out their holiday bonuses to the employees, the steel mill handed all the employees their bonuses in $2 bills. And then the employees went out and started spending money all over town in $2 bills, and all the merchants started to realize, hey, maybe the steel mill in our town is important. Pretty interesting way to PR for your firm. And 10 years ago, an 11-year-old girl in Texas was detained by the police because she tried to pay for her school lunch with a $2 bill that was 50 years old. It was like older than that. And the counterfeit pen at the cashier at the cafeteria wouldn't work because the bill was so old. They actually detained her. Why they would use a counterfeit pen on a $2 bill is not I don't know. Why would you do that? $2 bill got back 50 years ago today. And 29 years ago today, Tiger Woods becomes the youngest golfer ever to win the Masters tournament. The final round of the Masters tournament is still the most watched Masters tournament in history. 12 million people tuned in. 44 million people watched the Masters at one point or another. 29 years ago today, Tiger makes history. Let's do some birthdays. Thomas Jefferson. We mentioned this, the third president of the United States, born in the state in 1743, died on the same day as John Adams. On Independence Day, 1826, he was only 33 when he wrote the Declaration of Independence. His tombstone, which he wrote himself, his epitaph on his tombstone, makes no mention of his presidency. He decided to omit that on purpose. He was a notoriously poor public speaker. He was a great writer, but he couldn't speak out loud. He bathed his feet in cold water every morning on the belief that it would ward off getting the common cold. It doesn't, by the way. While he was president, he ran up a personal wine bill of $11,000, and Thomas Jefferson was never good at balancing his checkbook. He always lived well beyond his means. When Thomas Jefferson died, he was $107,000 in debt, which is a little over $2 million today. Thomas Jefferson, born in the state in 1743. Harold Stassen, one of my favorite political figures of the 20th century. He was the 25th governor of Minnesota. He was the boy wonder. Then he kept running for office and he kept losing, and that's one bad toupee. He ran unsuccessfully for the governor of Pennsylvania twice. Mayor of Philadelphia lost, United States Senator lost, United States Senator lost, United States Congressman lost, ran for the governor of Minnesota again and lost, and he ran for the presidency in 1944, 1948, 1952, 1964, 1968, 1976, 1980, 1988, and 1992. Fascinating figure, Harold Stassen. Al Green, baby, take me to the river. He is 80 years old today. The Reverend Al Green, tired of being alone. Let's stay together. It's good stuff. And happy birthday to the Chinese trampoline artist who won a silver medal, a gold medal, and a bronze medal in 3 consecutive Olympics. Everybody wants to wish a happy 37th birthday to Dong Dong. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors. Mike Mignotti had a stepsister. He didn't even know he had a stepsister. These genetic tests are kind of cool. And then my conversation with Jenny Rodas, who won the most prestigious award the Wenatchee world can give out, which means I was immediately ineligible. We're talking about the Robert W. Woods Employee of the Year Award. My conversation with Jenny. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and zero emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
This is Mike Mignotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, about 10 years ago, my wife and I did the Ancestry.com DNA test. We got some interesting but not too surprising results about our ancestral background. But one big surprise, though, is that the DNA results connected me with a half-sister, Kathy, who was a child born to a woman my dad had a brief relationship with when he was in the Navy back in 1945. A wartime love child. So Kathy and my other sibs connected, and she came to visit us all a few years ago.
And this one formerly only child found out that not only did she have the five of us siblings, but she had 45 plus extended relatives, many of whom she met when she came out here. Now, sadly, Kathy recently passed from cancer just a few weeks ago. She was almost 80 years old, but it was a huge blessing to us and to her that we finally had this time together, and she was able to explore and understand and learn about some of her paternal side of her family. So thanks, Ancestry. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
We've all dreamt of moving somewhere new. But what are home prices like? How are the schools? What are the state income taxes? And how's the weather? For all your questions, the Coldwell Banker Move Meter has answers. It's the only tool that lets you compare cities by cost and quality of living, so you can get a better idea of what your dream looks like and start making it come true. The Move Meter, only from Coldwell Banker. Live well with Coldwell.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Welcome back to the program. We're going to indulge ourselves this morning with a little shop talk. Late last week, the whole group got together, the NCW Live broadcasting crew and the WIC Communications editorial staff, and we all gathered in the Columbia Conference Room at 14 North Mission to unveil this year's winner of the Robert W. Woods Wenatchee World Employee of the Year, and that Employee of the Year is sitting to my immediate left. Give it up for Jenny, who I want to say her last name, but I can't roll my R's, so you get to do it.
That's racist.
No, it's not. Roll your R. Roll it.
I can roll it perfectly.
Let's hear it.
Rolas.
That's beautiful. God, I'm jealous of people who can roll their R's. I can't do it. Here it is, the actual plaque. I'll just hold it up. There you go. Were you surprised, Jenny?
I was. I didn't think I would win because we have such an amazing group of people who work here, and to think that, I guess they chose me over everyone else is honestly very amazing, and it's a privilege to, I guess, bear the title of Employee of the Year now.
Well, some pretty heavy hitters have won it before you. Some coworkers who deserved it.
That is right. Pete won last year's, and he's my editor, and thinking about Employee of the Year and kind of what it entails, I couldn't help but think of, I guess, all the support and all the people who helped me get there. So obviously we have an amazing leadership team who encourage and support me all the time. So I honestly wouldn't have been able to win this award, I guess, if it wasn't for everyone who works here.
And a lot of this, and people don't know this, a lot of this is collaborative efforts. I mean, we spit ideas off of each other and we have meetings and things like that, but nobody ever really writes a story, a compelling, important, informative story on their own. You have a little help along the way, not just editors.
Yeah, I agree. I think even conversing with people in the newsroom, with people in the newsroom, I feel like even helps me think of things for stories that I wouldn't have thought about by myself. So it is a collaborative.
When Sean made the announcement, at what point during his little speech did you realize, oh my goodness, it could be me? I mean, there had to be something. You must have had an epiphany, like, is it me? I mean, at one point he said she fairly early on, so I knew I was out.
Really?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Jeez. For one thing, I'm not really an employee of the year kind of guy. I kind of do my own thing. I have a big ego. Everybody knows that. So at what point did, I mean, she's like, oh my gosh, he's talking about me. Did that pop into your head?
Well, I was like, I like really dislike awkward moments, and us sitting around the table and it being like super quiet. I was just fidgeting with my fingers, and this is real, guys. I was just fidgeting with my fingers, looking down. I wasn't making eye contact with anyone in the room. And then I remember hearing her. I don't know where along his speech, but I remember hearing her, and I just felt someone elbow me, and it was Jordan. She was next to me, and she elbowed me, and then I could feel eyes around the room start like looking at me. I wasn't looking at anyone because I was still at this point looking down, but I could feel people's eyes looking at me, and I think that's when it hit me. I was like, oh. But I didn't want to get too cocky because I was like, what if everyone thinks it's me and then it's like someone else, and then that's like disappointing. So
it would have been really funny if, as soon as Sean got the word she, that Jordan started to stand up and walk up to. That would have been funny. I would have enjoyed that quite a bit. but it didn't happen. The leadership team, of which I am not a member for good reason, it was unanimous. There were 5 or 6 members of the leadership team at WIC Communications, and the vote was 5-0. That's got to make you feel pretty good. Apparently, it hasn't yet sunk in.
No, it is not. I've had my moments with every one of those people on that leadership team. So, again, it was very surprising.
You sit maybe 15 feet away from me, and I know very little about you. So, give me a little background on Jenny. Who are you, and how the hell did you end up here?
Don't ask me that.
It's too late. I already asked you that.
I know.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. We're speed dating for the next 3 minutes. Go for it. Okay, for the next 10 minutes. Go for it.
Oh, please. No speed dating.
Okay.
Who am I? Okay. I was raised in Wenatchee, went to high school, middle school, elementary school here. I did Apple Leaf when I was in high school, and that's kind of where my love and passion for journalism started. Shout out to Tamara Giacomosi. I don't know if she still works for the district, but she was the one who made my love for journalism grow. And
was she the advisor for Apple Leaf at the time? Okay.
She was at the time. And she is an amazing woman, and to this day I thank her for my career at this point. I started off as a newsroom assistant, and I did that for a little under 2 years. And during that time, I was also reporting a little bit, but I wasn't a reporter technically. But I've always loved, well, not always. My passion for writing and journalism grew in high school, and I developed skills that, our leadership team helped me continue to develop when I became a reporter.
And the Apple Leaf is, for those of you who don't know, is one of the best student newspapers anywhere. I mean, it's won national awards. It's a very well done student newspaper. It's been around for 100 years.
Yeah, I think it's amazing just because we have all the collection of newspapers from so many years in what we call the pub, which is in like the back room of the classroom. And it's amazing to see the work that has been done from previous generations. And
well, if you look at Apple Leafs from 81 and 82, I'm in there. But the one thing I noticed, I was on the Apple Leaf for a couple of years, junior and senior year in high school. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, the senior year I was the sports editor. Didn't know what I was doing. Thank goodness Noreen did. And we had a great time. But the one thing I do remember, because I did, they let me take all the Apple Leafs I had from high school. I've lost them all. I don't know what happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
But they let me actually take the bound volumes of them home with me for a weekend so I could go down memory lane. And I compared what we did back in 81, 82 into 83 and what you folks did 45 years later. You guys would have blown us away. We were a pretty good newspaper, but it's nowhere near as good as it is now and has been for the last 10 years. And that's true.
Yeah. I think I did it sophomore through senior year, and we really were very ambitious. I think our in-depth topics were very good and in-depth, of course. But I think I had a really amazing group of classmates who were in it the years that I was in it. And we wrote very compelling stories, and we touched on things that I probably wouldn't have thought of touching if I hadn't been an Apple Leaf. So.
Any heat from the administration or school board stuff on, hey, you're going a little too far this way or that way? It's been known to happen.
I don't think so. I don't think we touched a nerve during my time.
But if you didn't touch a nerve, maybe you're not really doing it that way. Maybe you should touch a nerve every once in a while, don't you think? Isn't that part of the job?
Dan, I think that's just a you thing. I think you like touching nerves.
Am I touching one right now, Jenny? Let's get to that.
Oh, you can never touch a nerve on me.
So you kind of fell bass backwards into journalism, and now this is it. This is what you're going to tell people stories and keep people informed about what the heck's going on around here. This is your career path, you think?
Yeah, I don't really see myself doing anything else. Funny enough, growing up, I was a very curious child, and I would ask a million questions, and a lot of, like, people who knew me growing up would always say, Jenny, you're gonna do something with journalism. Like, you are so annoying. You ask the most amount of questions about the most, like, random topics that no one cares about. Like, who cares how light works, you know? I guess people do, but as a child, like, I would ask the most absurd questions, and people would just be annoyed, of course. And, you know, to grow up and actually become a journalist is very...
Well, curiosity, the two main things that you have to do the job well is to be curious and give a damn, and you certainly qualify on those two counts, don't you think?
Well, I certainly give a damn.
Yeah, there's no question about that. The Oscar sits between the two of us, Oscar Rodriguez, who I believe also won this one time, but I can't remember not.
Yeah, I believe he won in 2021 for the work he did during COVID.
So when you two are talking to each other in Spanish, you're talking about me, aren't you? Because you sit right next to me.
All the time.
Yeah, I figured that.
We're talking about how good you look, what an amazing host he is in the morning. I mean, hello guys. You know, we're always just hyping you up between ourselves, and we just love to talk about Dan Kuntz, you know. It's like the best thing.
Maybe this will say 2026 Employee of the Year. I don't know. Being bilingual, does that open doors that you normally wouldn't get a chance to open as a journalist? Somebody might not be real interested in opening up to you, but you can speak their language, and it kind of lowers that wall a little bit, and you get maybe some stories that you wouldn't if you weren't bilingual.
100%.
Yeah.
I think that not only being bilingual, but being Hispanic and Latino, I think definitely opens the doors for people to feel more comfortable coming to us and knowing that they have that representation here. But taking it a little further, also being able to relate, you know, and know that someone is actually understanding you and not just listening to you and gathering as much information as they can, but actually trying to sympathize with what you are going through. And I think that a lot of the times when speaking to the Hispanic Latino community, it can be hard if there isn't that representation and that they might be looking for, like in a community newspaper.
Every Tuesday, Oscar and yourself sit in this very studio and do a little 2.5-minute, this is what's going on, in Spanish. It's posted on our website. It's posted on the Wenatchee World website. Seems to be going pretty well. You seem to have taken to it.
Yeah, I was, I don't want to say surprised, but I was, I guess, surprised that people were taking it really well. They've been really enjoying it. I've heard a lot of comments here at work and outside of work from the community as well. So I think it pushes me to continue wanting to do more, just because, you know, there is, I guess, a lack of representation just as a whole, not only with us, but in the community. And I think any representation that they can get, and it's just good.
Sean, if you're watching this conversation, by the way, she lost her $200 Visa gift card. She threw it in her car, now she can't find it. So Sean, if you can go ahead and talk to the folks at WIC and get another $200 gift card. Did you actually lose it?
I told you it was just in my car.
Okay.
I don't know where it is,
she gets a cool plaque, by the way. And it's too bad you never got to know Robert W. Woods, because he was a pretty awesome guy. Longtime columnist with the World, a great conversationalist. I really enjoyed speaking with Robert. He would be proud of you. But you got the $200 gift card. What are you going to do with the $200 bucks?
I have no idea.
No idea?
No.
Okay.
I mean, gas is expensive, so.
That's true. That'll fill up your car.
Maybe gas. Yeah. Just that one gift card will fill up a tank, guys. Yeah.
So congratulations on behalf of everybody. I was pretty cool. Well, for those of the uninitiated, about 6-8 months ago, the editorial staff of the Wenatchee World moved from 14 North Mission down here to 221 South Chelan. So everybody who creates and gathers and disseminates news, we're now all together in the same room, and that's helped everybody, I think, quite a bit, having all of us together.
Yeah, I think it's helped a lot with communication and working on stories with the team. And of course, seeing the lovely Dan Kuntz every morning has been amazing. Yeah.
If you butter me up anymore, I'm going to squeeze and sply right out your fingers. You can't do that anymore. Last question and I had no idea her name was Jennifer, actually her legal name, until they put it on the plaque. Everybody calls you Jenny.
Yeah.
What are you working on? What kind of stories are spinning around in your brain that we're going to be reading about here in the next few days?
Let's see. There's something going on with CBCH.
Columbia Valley Community Health.
Yes, that's right. I will be interviewing someone later this afternoon actually, about some educational stuff they're doing with agricultural workers. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned for that later this week.
I love Columbia Valley Community Health. I've done a lot of conversations with the leadership people there. They fill a very important gap. And their new building in East Wenatchee is beautiful.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
I don't go to the east side that much.
Okay.
No.
So.
Stay on this side of the river.
Jenny, everybody, who apparently, when she drives into work from Malaga, drives quite fast. So for you state patrol troopers out there regularly monitoring the Malaga-Alcoa highway, keep an eye out for Jenny, who has a tendency to drive too fast.
Sheriff Morrison, please. Pull all your deputies out of the highway, please.
Congratulations on your award. I was tickled pink for you. I really was. So, and I like sitting next to you.
Aww.
So, yep.
Love
it's
you
fun.
too, Dan.
And you're always laughing too. You're always laughing and smiling.
That's not true.
I don't know what's up with that.
I never laugh.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's the worst liar in the building. She's also the Robert W. Woods World Employee of the Year for 2025, although she didn't get the plaque until last week. Congratulations, Jenny. Looking forward to that story on CBCH.
Thank you.
I will be reading it. And you were watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, I hope. We'll be right back.
Fibercrete fireproof safety rooms can be the difference between life and death for you and your family. Typical fireproof safety rooms are 8x8 Fibercrete panels providing a solid sanctuary. Fibercrete safety rooms can be above ground, buried underground, or built within new home construction. Best of all, a safety room by Fibercrete is very affordable. Call 360-770-2088. You owe it to your family to find out more about Fibercrete safety rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, your place for fun, food, and friends. Happy hour every day, 2 to 7. Try their brand new menu and famous prime rib every Saturday night. Planning a celebration? Book your holiday party, wedding, or private event, even in their exclusive simulator rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, where every day is a celebration. Visit today.
54 degrees here in the Wenatchee Valley. Our normal high this time of the year is 61. Guess what our forecast high today is going to be? 61 degrees after we hit 67 on Sunday. But that's going to be it for a little while. There's a pretty sizable low up in the Gulf of Alaska. It's working its way down here as we speak. By overnight tonight, it's going to be visiting our area, and it will be here basically Tuesday night, and all the way into Wednesday night. So here we go. Sunshine today. The only big story is the wind. Quite a bit of wind throughout the course of the day today and tonight, for that matter, as this rather robust cold front comes down. So we'll cloud up tonight. We'll have some wind. 30% chance of rain on Tuesday. It's a cold front. That's why we're only going to get to 55 degrees. By the way, Tuesday night into Wednesday, the snow level is going to go all the way down to 1,800 feet, but the best chance of snow in the valley, and it ain't much. It'll be in the higher elevations, would actually be on Tuesday. And we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.